Welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a lovely day today. Outside is gorgeous, and the reason why you're seeing a different background as per usual, which is the background over there, is because I'm about to show you something so unbelievably gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is probably, if not the most beautiful and powerful Moldavite in the world. Since I started with Moldavite at 38 years old as a full-time healer, I decided to work with as many Moldavites as possible. The reason why is because I was getting such good, accurate energy, information, and healing. I call them hits. Hits means that after a healing session, somebody will get up, walk out, and give you a call and say, "Hey, Mark, I'm not kidding. That was mind blowing." Okay, that's a hit. It's just my way of saying that was a good healing session and they felt the benefits of that healing session. Predominantly, Moldavite was always in my pocket or around my neck, 1, 2, 5 pieces. They were always around. In my healing studio, there would be maybe between 50 and 100 pieces always around. I use Moldavite in different ways. The reason why is because certain Moldavites were different shapes, so they were easily accessible and easy to lay on certain parts of the body so they wouldn't fall off. Certain times when the client would be just in the seat, I would place them in the hand, so I'd be looking for a certain different Moldavite. Could have been Maly Chlum or a Besesdnice, depending. If they're lying down and I want to kind of attract a different energy or create a different energy, I'd maybe put it on the third eye and so on. So the crystal I'm going to show you today, the reason why I've said that is because I've worked with probably 100,000 pieces. That might sound an exaggeration, but I handle at any given time when I'm going to buy Moldavite between 1 and 5,000 pieces. So I've handled thousands literally. It became organic really. I didn't really start with thinking, oh, I'm going to sell it. But when people were blown away by it, they'd be saying, can I have a piece? And I'd gift them. And eventually I thought, I've got to start. This is costing me a fortune. So I used to sell it because I say, like, that cost me this much, and they'd buy it off me at the price I'd pay for it. And then eventually people were saying, oh, I'd like another piece, and can you work on it? And before you know it, after so many years, 20 years, it's almost like, yeah, I've handled that many pieces. I ended up having my own website, and probably one of the most beautiful websites for selling spiritual tools that I personally worked with. So the 2 decades of working with thousands of tools, I narrowed it down to a certain amount of tools: oils, incense, and crystals. And that's what I work with on a daily basis up till these past few years when I decided to retire. So in and amongst the travelling of working, I would buy Moldavites from certain people that I knew, trusted, and then I would travel to the Czech Republic. And there was one particular day that I saw this incredible piece of Moldavite. And I say I've seen a lot of pieces of Moldavite, special pieces. I have a most amazing collection of Besesdnice hedgehogs. But there were one piece that you can't really explain it unless you're next to it and you're with it and you see it. And something happens, something remarkable. Now, the energy of this crystal is probably the powerful Moldavite that I've ever worked with in the world. And the energy within it is profound. But just a glimpse of this crystal when I saw it, and it was in a special case, it became, throughout the 12 hours or maybe 11 hours, it became obvious that I needed this crystal. It needed to be with me. I needed to take care of it and look after it. And I pulled all the strings. I rang everybody. I rang the bank and did everything I could to try and get this crystal. And I've got to say, it was an easy fix. So it was meant to be. There was no forcing, no pushing. I just made phone calls and said, look, there's something that I feel is going to benefit me, my clients, my work, and it's just something that I feel And like the bank manager said, what is it? I said, it's a piece of what you would think as ugly glass. It might look like a gherkin. It looks weird, but trust me when I say this, it's going to bring a lot of energy into my work. It's going to bring a lot of energy onto my website. It's going to be something that is so profound that it'll heighten everything that I do. My bank manager likes me and trusts me, thinks I'm crazy, but he trusts me, and he said, okay, I'll give you what you need. So at that point, I thought to myself, if the Moldavite is still available, because it was only available for a short time, I thought if it's still available, I'm getting it. So I went back and I ended up getting this piece of Moldavite years ago. Till that moment, right now, I may have used that piece of Moldavite 50 to 100 times in those years. It comes out at special occasions, and I use it when I'm really going deep, when I really want to attune, when I really want to bring forward abundance in many forms, not monetary, but in many forms, abundance and connection. And it's never let me down. Every time I even open the box, my heart beats. I feel the power of this crystal. All Moldavites are amazing, but there's something about this Moldavite that I love so much. It's incredible. And that's why I believe out of the thousands of Moldavites that I've touched with many dealers, many diggers, many people that have had collections, there is nothing thus far that I believe can touch it. So there's smaller pieces, but this is exceptional because it's a big piece of Besesdnice, and it's a hedgehog. So I'm going to show it you now. It's in here. So here we go. We come out again. Okay. So here we go. This is a crystal that is named the Flame of Bohemia. This is from Besesdnice, and it's probably the most beautiful, powerful, and probably expensive Moldavite hedgehog in the world. What you're looking at is a perfect specimen example. So this is twofold. This is for collectors who look for any blemishes that will then reduce the value. This is perfect. There is no acid that is poured on a tip because it's been broken. It is perfect. Perfect. So this, my dear friend, what you're looking at is probably the world's most beautiful Moldavite. And in my experience over 20 years, nothing has come close. Isn't that gorgeous? So, back it goes. Moldavite is extremely exquisite, and even the smallest of pieces is as powerful as a big piece. Moldavite retains its memory of another world. It has been sent here as a gift to help raise humanity's awareness to the darkness that is around us at any given time. Therefore, I have written a book, and in the book, one of the most powerful statements is that if the whole of humanity held a piece of Moldavite, then the world would awaken in a day. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful piece of Moldavite, and I think it's nice to share it with the world. But remember, it's not the size. Moldavite retains the energy and frequency, no matter what size it is or what part of the Czech Republic it comes from. The only reason why we have a desire for certain places is that we like the colour or we may like the texture or the unusual. I'll share a little story with you. A friend of mine bought a piece of Moldavite, and it was a spiky one, very spiky. And as he was working with it, it snapped. And he was absolutely heartbroken. And after the healing session, we sat down, and it cost, I don't know, I think 14,000 euros, something like that. And I said, the piece that snapped off, I said, mount it and wear it and see what happens. So he had it mounted and he was wearing it one day. And within, I think, 4 or 5 hours, he'd had his dinner after working, and he sat down. I think it was somewhere, it was either a park or, yeah, I think it was a park. And this is the tale he told me, the story, or I totally believe him. He was sat down meditating, and a lady sat next to him. And when he finished his meditating, she smiled and she said, "Is that Moldavite you've got around your neck?" It was a hanging piece. And he said, "Yes." She said, "I'm sorry, but I had to stop and look at it." They're married now. They got married. And he says to me, "Why is it you told me to mount that Moldavite? Did you know I would meet somebody?" And I said, "No idea. But isn't it lovely that if you look at what you think you lost, which was 14,000 in monetary terms, how much do you value your wife?" And he said, "1 billion. And I said, "So it didn't really break, did it? It actually worked. It actually snapped for that perfect moment for you to meet the person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with." I think I'm leaving it there, because Moldavite to me is magical, and people get so upset when a piece of Moldavite breaks or drops. But if you see it in another way, like I do now, that our rejections are Spirit's protections, and the things that we would jump and scream and shout at is actually sometimes that what takes us to the most amazing path. And I believe the end journey for me is Moldavite. That's how it feels every day. It's like Moldavite. So I'm so proud of that piece. I'm so proud of every piece that I've worked on, and I love my collection. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. Thank you so much for going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic Moldavites. I'll see you soon. In the comments, let me know how Moldavite has made a difference in your life. Either good or maybe not so good, to be able to bring you to a very good at the end. Take care. Have a lovely day.